What's going on, guys? It's been a minute. I wanted to get back on here and talk a little bit about Penn State spring ball. My name is Richie O'Leary. I'm the publisher of Happy Valley Insider, aka Penn State Rivals, pennstate.rivals.com, the go-to source for all your Penn State news, Penn State info, and the Penn State forums. We have a pretty good active forum. Lots of talk right now about spring ball, lots of recruiting talk with guys visiting here and there. A couple commitments recently we broke down on the podcast. If you haven't already checked them out, check them out on our YouTube page down below. Or if you're on Apple or Spotify right now, just go through the episode. You'll see a bunch of different commitments. We did a bunch of football commitments. We did wrestling podcasts. We did a wrestling preview for next season, which got a little bit of a hate. It's because we ended up posting a day after Zach Ryder ended up entering the portal. But that's neither here nor there. We recorded that before he entered the portal, of course. But let's talk about Penn State football. Penn State football is in full swing. It is now week 3. Yeah, week 3 of spring practice. It's getting exciting now. James Franklin talked yesterday, said a lot of good things. I kind of want to go through some of those things that he said. Let's just start off with the beginning. It's always nice to see when he compliments the other Penn State coaches around the university. Guy Godowski, big fan of his, talking about his Frozen Four appearance. It's the first time in program history for them. So that's huge for Penn State hockey. But nice of James to mention it. He also mentioned how Pat Kraft continues to do a really good job. He was on a podcast this week on a different network recently and talked about how there's just alignment from the top to bottom for Penn State. It's the first time in his, I think it's 12 years now since he's been at Penn State. And it's the first time that they've had alignment from the very top to the very bottom. That goes for NIL, that goes for fundraising, that goes for renovations, facilities, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Just a lot of hype around Penn State right now. Let's see. He started off talking about Drew Allar. A lot of talk about Drew, just kind of mentioned him a little bit. How he kind of just has to take that next step in almost every level of the game. We already kind of know what Drew does. We know what he's talented at. He's got the arm strength. He's got the mechanics. He's got the build. He's massive. He's even kind of mobile for a guy his size, which is kind of insane to say. I don't want to say Josh Allen-esque, but I don't think he's as athletic as Josh Allen, but I think he has a similar build to him. Maybe even bulkier, to be honest with you. But yeah, no, it seems like every week people just ask him about Drew, and it just seems like a kind of a waste of a time, to be honest, because we all know what Drew is. We know what he can do. We know what he has to do better at. He needs to be able to read the field better. He needs to be able to hit those deep balls more often. And that's fine. You got to hit those guys on their breaking routes immediately. You got to probably get the ball out a little bit quicker, but either way, Drew is one of the top returning quarterbacks in the country. I saw someone actually rank him as a number 3 quarterback in the country over behind DJ Lagway and Garrett Nussmeier. Garrett Nussmeier, I think, is a dog, so I will give Garrett the nod for now. But I'm not putting DJ Lagway over fucking Drew. Like, that just sounds stupid to me. Like, DJ's decent. I don't think he's great. I've seen people put Lenore Sellers above Drew, too, which I just don't really get from South Carolina. But whatever. It is what it is. Moving on, other quarterback talk. He talked about the QB2 battle. Said it's going to be going on for a long time now between Ethan Grunkemeyer and Jackson Smolik. If I had to pick right now, I'll tell you right now, I think it's already done, to be honest with you. I think Grunkemeyer has that job wrapped up. It didn't help that Jackson Smolik got injured last year, so he was a little rusty. And he's playing pretty well. I think he's a solid quarterback. I don't think he's probably ever going to start at Penn State, barring something unfortunate happening. Knock on wood. Hopefully that never happens. We never have to find that out. But I think it's Drew's job this year, and I think it's Grunkemeyer's job for the next couple of years after that. I think he's just that dude. I think he's really good. I think the coaching staff's very high on him. It's really not just like he said it's not just coach speak. The competition is going to go on for a while, which, again, I disagree. I just think when you watch the two of them throw, Grunkemeyer is just that much better. Like, he has all the talent in the world. I think Grunkemeyer is going to slide in right after Drew leaves and just fill in that role without hesitation. Like, I don't think we're even going to like look back and be like, damn, like, remember when Drew was doing this? And now we have Ethan. And it's like, no, Ethan's that good, man. Like, I can't wait to see him out there. I'm very excited. I hope he gets some more snaps this year in garbage time. Hopefully there's a couple blowouts early on. There should be, based on the schedule. So hopefully we'll get to see a little bit more of him out there. And hopefully they let him throw the ball too. I don't want to see him in garbage time just hand the ball off to who would it be? Quentin Martin, Cam Wallace, any of those guys. Like, I want to see him actually chuck the ball down the field and kind of pick apart defense, to be honest with you. So that's that. Quarterbacks, running backs, really talked about Nick Singleton and Kaytron Allen. You can kind of see, and he mentioned how Kaytron Allen, he called it Fat Man. You could really see it in the little clips that we post here and there, but like in person too. You can really just see that Kaytron Allen's actually starting to gain a little bit more explosion and speed. He looks like he's running through a brick wall. He almost ran Stan Drayton over in the one clip from our friend Zach Sako of the Locked On Nittany Lions podcast. He posted it today or yesterday. So that's really cool. And you see him just have an extra little burst, I feel like, too. Of course, with Nick, it's a lot of he's always in the open field. And you could see those that quick jab step and that juke move. There's the one drill that we posted on the Penn State Rivals Twitter account where they're throwing Stan Drayton's throwing the giant workout ball at him, and it's just that quick step, and he's able to just cut immediately. And his cutting ability is phenomenal, and that's how he's able to get to those big open field runs. So this year is going to be pretty big for both of them. I think that goes without saying. They're just both explosive players. They're a little bit different in their own right. Kaytron's going to get you at consistent 5 yards. Nick's going to get you that big explosive plays. I do want to see more of them this year. I feel like last year we didn't get to see enough of those explosive plays. And I just want to see more consistency out of both of those guys. I want to see Nick be able to be that guy that can average 5 yards per carry every single carry, not just against the shitter schools. I want to see it against the best of the best. So that was cool. A lot of talk about Stan Drayton, a lot of talk about his development. You could see he's just out there actually having fun. I know after talking to our Temple guys, they told us that his last year at Temple this past season was just he kind of knew his job was on the line. It was kind of like not a sad type of thing, but he just wasn't energetic like he used to be. And even they've told me, they've seen our clips posted. And you can go look at our Twitter account. You see those clips posted to Stan Drayton, and they've talked to me, and they're like, man, he just looks like he's actually happy again. He's enjoying what he's doing. And I feel like this is a situation where he's gotten his head coach opportunity. He's like, okay, I did it. Maybe he'll be an OC one day again. But at the end of the day, I feel like he's just the perfect running backs coach. And some guys are just made to be an assistant coach. You're not made to be a head coach or a coordinator. He is one of those guys, in my opinion. I think he's always produced no matter where he's went as a running backs coach. And I think it's kind of crazy to say this. And we said it actually when he was hired. So I shouldn't say it's that crazy. Penn State gets an upgrade at running backs coach this year, despite losing Juwan Sider, who's been with the program for God knows how long. He was one of the best recruiters in the country. Now, do I think Sider's the better recruiter of the two? I'm going to give Sider the nod there for now. Although Penn State was able to hold on to Mickens, was able to hold on Keemon Spell. So I'm not going to give him too much credit, but Juwan Sider is the better recruiter at the end of the day. But I think Stan Drayton is a damn good talent developer, and that honestly is going to help you on the recruiting trail. When you can point to guys like Bijan Robinson in the league right now, you can point to Brian Westbrook, who a lot of these kids grew up idling. You could point to Ezekiel Elliott. You could point to just about anyone that he's coached, and they've played in the NFL, and not just played in the NFL, they contributed in the NFL. So I do think he's doing a really good job so far. It's very early. It's really hard to tell. It's spring ball, but when you see these little drills, like, it just seems like he's having fun. He's having the time of his life, and he gets to sit back and not worry so much about the everyday life of the program, whether it be fundraising, whether it be running the offense, whether it be making sure everyone's in this meeting or that meeting. So it is a little nice to see that. Defensive installs. He talked a lot about Jim Knowles. Obviously, there's a new guy on that side of the ball too. Jim Knowles is he's been everywhere, man. He's been at Duke. He's been at Oklahoma State. He's been at Ohio State. He's arguably the best defensive coordinator of all college football. I don't think there's a question about it. I think it's going to be interesting to see how he works out this year because, number one, he has to install his entire defense and kind of just lay that foundation from day one. And we know his first year at Ohio State didn't really go so according to plan because Michigan ended up winning the title. Now, did they have a solid defense still? Yes, they did. But year two at Ohio State's really when it started to take off. Their defense looked really good last year, and he's even said like he likes to run those 3 safety sets. It sounds like that's kind of what it's going to lean towards too. But they didn't have the personnel last year at Ohio State, which is crazy to say because I feel like honestly Penn State has the personnel this year to run those 3 safety sets. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all kind of plays out. Trying to think. Let's see. I'm just going through my notes real quick. Very competitive practices. That's really it on Jim Knowles, actually. Tamir Robinson, a little bit of hype there. Love seeing that. Tony Rojas is out for spring, so of course someone's got to step up, and they said that just Tamir's been stepping up. It's really good to see him out there healthy. We hyped him up before he got injured in high school, and we said he's going to be really good. He's going to be really good. Just needs to recover from that injury, and he finally has. It seems like he's fully healthy. He's really flashing. James said he's very confident in him. He's playing fast, and of course, I mean, the more reps you get in practice, the better you're going to end up being on the field. But he even quoted as saying he's been really good, which is always a good sign. And especially for a linebacker room, that was kind of concerning entering the season. They lost Kobe King. There was really no answer to who was going to replace him. Sounds like Tamir's probably going to be that guy next to Tony Rojas for now. To be determined, I guess. We'll have to wait and see what happens in the summer. Could they go out and get another linebacker via the portal? That's always possible too. But he's and James did say he's a very smart player, but he has to learn a lot. Really good instincts though, and that's really what you need at linebacker. You need to be able to read and react immediately, and read and figure out which hole that running back's going to, or which lane's going to be there, and able to attack the quarterback. Having Dan Connor back there, of course, also helps a lot too. Now I know Dan Connor was the official linebackers coach last year. This year he's the official linebackers coach. So having like that unlimited coaching staff where guys can, which almost everyone can coach now, it's beautiful. And having a guy like Dan Connor, who's a superstar, a former superstar, stud, former obviously Nittany lying great, is huge. It's going to help him kind of develop. It's going to help Tony Rojas develop, even if he's not on the field right now. Helping him in the film room, off the field it's huge. And then last but not least, the position that everyone loves to talk about when it comes to Penn State football, defensive tackle. This defensive tackle position, it's very iffy right now. I mean, we know what you got in Zane Durant. We know Zane Durant's one of the better D tackles in the entire nation. Perfect. We know what Alonzo Ford is. Now, Alonzo Ford has suffered some injury setbacks in his career, but when healthy, he's proven he's pretty solid. So you have those two guys. After that's the big question. Well, I shouldn't say a question anymore because now it's not. James came out and basically said Xavier Gillam's that guy. He's been like DT3. He's been phenomenal. He's doing really well. He's flashed a couple times. So it sounds like those are going to be the top three. After that, he mentioned a ton of different dudes. He mentioned Owen Wafel as a guy who's done some nice things. He mentioned Randy Aderica as a surprise, a true freshman 4-star. I mean, this kid's technically supposed to be in high school for another 3 more months or 2 more months before graduating. So to get him on campus was huge, especially if he's flashing this early. It's a guy who could see snaps this year because you need people on the interior. Even if you have 2 or 3 guys along that interior that you trust, you still need more than that because you're going to rotate. The interior, it's just going to bruise and beat you to death if you're a defensive tackle. You're literally the only guy hitting body to body, pad to pad, helmet to helmet, every single fucking play. You have to have that mean streak in you. And that's what I love about Randy. That's what I love about Xavier. Those two guys are just mean son of a bitches, and they'll beat the crap out of whoever's on the other side of them. Are they young? Yes, but they have that little chip on their shoulder, and they're ready to go. And I'm excited to see what they can do. Owen Wafel's another kid that has that kind of chip on his shoulder. I still think he needs some time to develop. He redshirted already, so he could see some snaps this year. After that, he mentioned Mupoy, who's still kind of bulking up a little bit, but you do see those reps, whether it be on our TikTok or Instagram or Twitter, of him just throwing up crazy weights. We know Chuck Lucy has mentioned him a couple times as a guy who's just been super impressive. He keeps packing on the pounds. I don't know if this is going to be a year for him. I think maybe one more year out, and then you'll start to see him a little more. Also mentioned DeAndre Cook. Mentioned Liam Andrews starting to get back to work. Obviously a big body dude. He was a little injured too. He basically just said there's a ton of guys battling. It's a very, very competitive room, but it's those two. It's Alonzo Ford, Zane Durant, and Xavier Gillam. And then after that, it's a really guessing game. I find it interesting that he didn't really talk about Ty Blanding. He didn't really talk about Caleb Artis. I really think Caleb Artis could end up transferring in this new spring portal window, which actually opens, in 7 days from now. Ty Blanding wouldn't shock me either. I think Ty Blanding is probably a little bit higher up on the board than Caleb Artis is right now. So I'm going to say he stays. A gun to my head, Blanding stays. Artis leaves. Artis is going to leave, and he's going to go play somewhere, though. He'll play G5. There's even a couple Power 4 schools, I think, that could pick him up. So we'll kind of wait and see what happens there. But that's basically the gist of everything James Franklin said this past Tuesday. We also talked with Nick Singleton, whose YouTube video should be up right now. If you haven't seen it already, check it out. Also talked with Danny O'Brien. Danny O'Brien had some good things to say. Really high on the quarterback room. Loves the development of the young guys. Really loves where Drew is right now. Thinks Drew is kind of starting to take that next step. So wait and see. Also on our YouTube channel, the sights and sounds from practice, bunch of different clips all mashed together into one. If you want to see them separately, they're on our Twitter account, our TikTok, our Instagram, at Penn State Rivals on every single one of those. So check that out. I think that's pretty much it for today, though. We'll have another recruiting pod soon. We're putting together the finishing touches on this weekend's visitor list, which is already at, what's this weekend? 10, 11, 12. This weekend's visitor list is going to feature a lot of the committed guys. We're also going to see Thursday is going to have a pretty solid list. We're going to have Grayson McCow. I think that's how you say it. Grayson McCaw. That sounds about McCaw. Grayson McCaw, 4-star Rivals 250 offensive lineman out of LaSalle College. I have him leading Penn State right now. My only concern about putting in a future cast for him right now is Notre Dame. He has a 3-day visit to Notre Dame. I think it's the 15th, 16th, 17th, or 16th, 17th, 18th, something like that. It's a 3-day visit for their spring game weekend. If he walks away from that visit and doesn't commit to Notre Dame, I'm going to put in a future cast for Penn State immediately. If he does really get the vibes of Notre Dame on that visit, I think he could end up committing there. It's very close. It's between those two. We know Juwan Sider's the guy over there recruiting him. We know Penn State's selling him on the fact it's home. It's Pennsylvania, man, like this and that. He's very big on academics, and that's the one issue here. His only other official visit other than Penn State right now is Northwestern. I don't really see them as too much of a threat. I think obviously Northwestern's academics are up there with the Ivies, with Stanford, with et cetera. But I do think it's going to come down to Penn State or Notre Dame. Notre Dame's selling that whole academics, top football, et cetera, all that other good stuff here, all together mashed into one at Notre Dame. Whereas Penn State's trying to say, stay home, stay home, stay home. I think Penn State ends up landing him in the end. We'll wait and see. Zaki Scott, edge rusher from Seton LaSalle, is going to be on campus tomorrow too. Only has one offer right now from West Virginia. He's been to Penn State a couple times. Wouldn't shock me if he walked. Oh, I'm sorry, he's from LaSalle College as well. I said Seton LaSalle. Edge / linebacker. I take it back. Penn State did offer him. So he's got Penn State, he's got West Virginia, he's got Kent State. I know Rutgers is looking at him pretty actively too. So we'll wait and see what happens there. I don't think anything's imminent, but you never know. He was also on campus last year for a junior day visit, in his case, I guess a sophomore day visit, freshman day visit, 27, 26, 25. Yeah, freshman day visit, Jesus. Anyway, this weekend, though, a couple commitments coming to campus. The big name to watch, though, that's uncommitted, Ashton Blatt, edge rusher, Central Catholic kid, has 17 offers down to a top 5 of Duke, Penn State, West Virginia, Wisconsin. Top 4. I said 5. He has official visits to all 4 schools. I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't make actually, he already made one of those official visits. Made an official visit to West Virginia last week. He has one for Wisconsin May 30th, Penn State June 6th, Duke June 20th. I could see this ending before those other 3 even happen. I think Penn State, if they push, he's theirs. Simple as that. Are they going to push? I don't know, because they still have some it's weird because they still have a lot of names still on the books right now that they don't really want to miss out on. So we'll kind of wait and see and monitor that one a little bit. I believe Jake Krull is also coming to campus this week. I forget what day he's coming to campus though. Had it written down. I'm sorry, he was on campus yesterday, but something to monitor. Jake Krull's been to campus a couple times now. We know Oklahoma's making a huge push for him. We know some other schools are making a push for him. Miami, obviously a Florida kid, so something to monitor there. But did actually start out at Bishop Moore Catholic in Florida. Now he is at IMG Academy. But Florida kid, Orlando kid, UCF's right there down the street. Hometown school, I guess you could say. But yeah, something to keep an eye on. We'll wait and see what happens. But we will have another podcast previewing this weekend's unofficial visitors. We'll have more on the recruiting front, and that's pretty much it. If you haven't already, check out pennstate.rivals.com. The Lions Den forum is our premium forum, has all the recruiting scoop, everything you need to know from wrestling scoop, from football scoop, whether it be team news, recruiting. We have latest on the basketball portal. Penn State is actively looking throughout the portal for a bunch of different targets. They need a big man. They need another wing. They probably need a guard. They need almost a whole lineup, basically. Now, Caden Mingo's coming in, though, so it should be a good team. So it's an easy sell for some guys. But is the money there is the question mark. We know revenue sharing is going to help them a little bit. We're curious to see how much, though. But yeah, basically that's it. If you want to check out pennstate.rivals.com's premium side, shoot us a DM on Twitter at Penn State Rivals, and we will give you a promo code for either 40 or 60% off. And yeah, basically that's it. But for me and everyone here at Happy Valley Insider, that's another episode of the Penn State 365 podcast. Signing off.